Hi everybody. Today we are going to take a look at interpreting remainders. You will need a piece of paper and pencil for this lesson, so if you need to pause the video and go get those materials, please do. All right, when dividing and looking at division in terms of a number story, there are three main ways to express remainders. You can write it as a fraction, you can ignore the remainder, or you can round your answer up. We're going to take a closer look at each example. So the first one is rounding it. Rounding the remainder means that you are adding one more to your quotient so that you are including everything. Here's a real life example. A preschool teacher has 23 children and the teacher wants to set 4 preschoolers at each table. How many tables does the teacher need to set up? So when you do the math, 23 divided by 4 will give you 5 with a remainder of 3 children. Now, the teacher needs to make sure that all students are at a table, so you will have to round your answer up and the teacher will need to set up 6 tables. A helpful hint for when you think about rounding it up situations, you would always round it up when it does not make sense to divide the remainder up. Okay, you don't cut people up, you don't divide them up. And it also doesn't make sense to leave someone out. So this would be a definite rounded up situation. Looking closer at ignoring it, it means that you're not ignoring your remainder. You're not using your remainder at all. So a real life example is when a preschool teacher has 130 blocks. The teacher wants to divide the blocks evenly between 9 preschoolers. How many blocks will each child receive? So if you do the math, it's 130 divided by 9, which will give you 14 blocks, and there will be 4 remaining. The 4 blocks are not enough for each person to get another block. You can't magically make 4 round up so that everybody has enough. So this would be a time where you would just push the blocks to the side, you would ignore them, and each person gets 14. A helpful hint for when ignoring the remainder, when you can't divide it evenly, when it doesn't make sense to break it apart, or when it's a situation and you cannot round up. Looking at dividing it, when you divide the remainder, it means you're breaking it up into even smaller pieces that can be equally shared, written as a decimal or as a fraction. A real life example here is a preschool teacher has 25 feet of string. The teacher wants to divide the string evenly between the 8 preschoolers. How much string will each child receive? When you do the math, 25 divided by 8 will give you 3, and then you'll have a remainder of 1 foot left over. So 1 foot is something that can be divided evenly and easily. So each child would end up getting 3, and then the fraction 1/8 of the whole. Helpful hints for when you think about dividing it up and writing it as a fraction. Food is something that can easily be written up as a fraction. Also money and anything with measurement units. So in this example, we had feet. If you have inches, if you have centimeters, if you have gallons, those units of measurement can all be evenly divided up and written as a decimal or as a fraction. All right, let's take a look at a couple more examples. And for here, I would like for you to be thinking as I work through this, what do you do with the remainder? Would you be ignoring it? Would you be dividing it? Or would you be rounding it? So in this situation, there are 4 students. They're sharing 13 whoopie pies. How many whoopie pies does each student get if they receive 3 equal shares? So when we do the math, you'll get an answer of 3 and you'll have a remainder of 1. And well, what is that 1 remainder? It is 1 whoopie pie. So go ahead and whisper it to me. What do we do with that 1 remaining whoopie pie? Yes, if you said to divide it up because it's food, you are exactly right. So taking a look at this, we would write our answer as 3 and 1/4. When you want to write your remainder as a fraction, the remainder is the numerator in your fraction, and then the 4, which is our divisor, is going to be your denominator. So each person would be super lucky and they would get 3 and 1/4 whoopie pies. How about this example? Joseph and his 3 brothers wish to divide 39 Pokemon cards equally. What is each child's share? So looking at the math, the answer is 9 and we have 3 remaining. What? Look at our unit, it's Pokemon cards. So in this situation, what do we do with our remaining 3 Pokemon cards? Go ahead, whisper it to me, I'm listening. Yes, we would ignore them. You would ignore your remainder and each person would get 9 cards. You do not want to divide up the cards. Maybe it is worth a lot of points. You don't want to rip it up. You can't magically make more cards appear. So ignore that remainder. How about this one? Our school is taking 256 students to Camp Kimbrook. Each cabin can sleep 6 campers. How many cabins do we need to hold all of the campers? So when you do the math, you have 42 cabins, but you have a remainder of 4. And 4 what? 4 campers. So what do we do with those 4 remaining campers? Go ahead, whisper. Tell me what we do. Yes, you are exactly right. This is a situation where you want to round up, okay? Those 4 kids, especially if you're one of them, you're going to want a place to sleep in a cabin. So this time we would round our answer up, which means we add 1 more to our quotient. So 42 plus 1 gives 43, and the answer is 43 cabins. Okay, now on your paper, I would like you to number 1 through 8. And I'm going to be giving you 8 situations, and I just want you to write ignore, divide, or round for each of these situations. So are you going to ignore the remainder? Again, you do this when it doesn't make sense to round up or you can't easily divide it. Dividing it up as a fraction, you do this when it makes sense to divide it up with food or measurement units. Or rounding it up. Again, when you can't leave something out, you would round it up. So what you're going to do is have your paper hopefully numbered 1 to 8, and I'm going to have you read each of these 8 situations, and on your paper, write the word ignore, divide, or round beside each number. And then pause your video and hit play to check your work. All right, hopefully you are now checking your work. So for number 1, the unit that we are dividing up are cupcakes. That's food, so you're gonna have written divide beside number 1. Number 2, the situation is dividing marbles. So in this situation, it would be ignoring, okay? You can't cut the marbles up. You can't make more magically appear to round up. For number 3, you would have written divide it up as a fraction because it's measurement, okay? They're cutting it into equal pieces for length, so you can divide that up. Number 4, you would want to say round up. So if you have extra students, you need to round up and include an extra table so that everyone has a seat. For number 5, you would have written divide. It's candy bars, it's food, you can split that up evenly. Number 6, the same thing, divide, it's money. You can evenly divide that up. For number 7, you should have said round up. So it's putting plates in boxes. And if you have extra plates that are left out, you need to take them with you when you move. So you're going to round up to include an extra box. For number 8, you would ignore it. It is taking a look at playing cards, and you're not going to want to rip up the playing cards for the game because then you can't play the game right, and you can't magically make more appear. So that would be a situation where you ignore. Hopefully all of these examples so far are giving you some better practice with interpreting remainders. And we're going to do some practice now where you get to do the actual division and interpret the remainder. So take a look at this first example. What do we do with the remainder? Tara has $25 to buy cat food. Cat food bags cost $6 each. How many bags can she buy? Go ahead, pause the video, and then hit play to check your work. All right, let's check your work. When you did the math, you would get an answer of 4 bags, and there'd be $1 that's left over. So in this situation, I'm hoping you said your answer was 4 and you used the label bags. It's very important that you write your label there as well. So the $1 is not enough to buy another bag. It doesn't make sense to write it as a fraction. So your answer is just 4 bags. How about this one? The Cheesecake Factory wants to put mini cheesecakes into boxes that hold 8 mini cheesecakes in each. They have 71 mini cheesecakes to package. How many boxes will they need? Please pause the video and then hit play to check your work. All right, let's check. When you do your division, you're going to have a quotient of 8, and then you'll have 7 remainder. And what is that 7? It's 7 mini cheesecakes. Now again, the question says how many boxes? So those 7 need to go in boxes. So this is a time where you're going to round your answer up, and it makes sense to have now 9 boxes. Okay, now you might have thought, oh, well, we need to divide it up because it's food. But again, think about the situation. It doesn't make sense to divide it up because you're putting those whole cheesecakes into boxes. So how many boxes do you need? You need to round up and add an extra box. How about this one? Cade won 477 tickets at Chuck E. Cheese. He decided to share them equally with 7 of his classmates and himself. How many tickets did each person receive? Go ahead, pause the video, solve it, and then hit play to check your work. All right. When you did your math here, this one's tricky because it's Cade and 7 of his classmates. So that's where we are getting himself plus the 7, which is why you need to make sure you divide by 8. So if you made a mistake, that might be why. When you do that, you get an answer of 59, and 5 are left over. 5 what? 5 tickets. So what do you do with those remaining tickets? Now you can't break tickets up because the store clerk isn't going to take them to redeem prizes. You can't magically make more appear, so you're going to ignore them, and your answer will just be 59 tickets. How about this example? The Cheesecake Factory had 11 extra mini cheesecakes from a canceled order. The 3 employees want to share them equally. What is each employee's share? Go ahead, pause the video, and then hit play when you're ready to check. All right. Looking at your work, you would do 11 divided by 3, which gives you 3. You have a remainder of 2, and 2 what? Mini cheesecakes. Now again, they're wanting to share all of them equally. It's food. It can be easily divided. So in this situation, you're going to want to divide it up. So each person is going to get 3 2/3 mini cheesecakes. And let's do one more example. A Cheesecake Factory worker earned $321 for a week. The employee worked 4 hours. What does the employee get paid per hour? So go ahead, pause the video, and then hit play when you're ready to check your work. All right. This is a well-paid employee. You might want to find a job there if that's what they pay. But it would be $80, but there's going to be 1 left over. And what is our unit? It's going to be $1 that's left over. So what do you do with the 1 remaining dollar? How much is this employee getting paid? Well, you could write it as a fraction, $80 and 1/4. And hopefully you know that 1/4 of a dollar, this fraction would be written as 25 hundredths. So it would be $80.25. Hopefully through this screencast you were able to get a better grasp and understanding of interpreting remainders. And what are the 3 things that you can do with a remainder? Go ahead, tell me. You can, yes, you can ignore it, you can express it as a fraction, and you can round up your answer. Best wishes with interpreting remainders. You guys did great today.